Have you ever wondered how pro mangakas make their drawings look like they're going to pop out of the pages? How they're able to make a scene look emotional and impactful? One way they're able to do this is through their shading. Shading makes your art look less flat and more three-dimensional. It can also elevate moments in your manga and immerse readers in your story. If you've struggled to get the shading right in your manga, or you're confused what kind of techniques the pros use, then make sure to stick around until the very end. Because in this video, we'll be discussing different manga shading techniques you need to know as a beginner mangaka. If you've always wanted to share your ideas, make an impact, and inspire other people through your manga, then we invite you to sign up to the waitlist of our online one-shot manga drawing program. We're going to give you an exact roadmap on how to create your own manga with the guidance of pro Japanese mangakas. They'll give you feedback live during our weekly Zoom sessions. Plus, you'll be in a supportive community learning with fellow aspiring mangakas who are just as awesome and passionate as you are. If you think you're ready to transform your manga journey, then make sure to sign up to our waitlist. The link is in the description. In the meantime, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you can get more free manga tips and tutorials. What makes manga so unique? One thing that makes you go, oh, that's definitely manga, is the fact that it's in black and white. Do you know why? Here's a quick history lesson. During World War II, manga would be handed out to Japanese soldiers to help boost morale. Since the mangakas at the time needed to release it weekly, they decided to make it black and white to keep up with the weekly deadlines. It was also much more affordable since it used less ink for printing. Even until now, modern manga is still made in black and white. And mangakas have developed techniques to bring out the best in their art. From traditional inking methods to using screentones. Not only can shading help your artwork look more 3D, but it also gives your art texture. It lets your reader understand better how something would feel. Is it metallic, rough, smooth? You can communicate that through how you shade. Your readers become more invested and they feel like what you're drawing can exist in reality. Another benefit is storytelling. Depending on how you shade your manga, it can give off a different mood each time. Manga with more drama and serious storylines usually have more heavily detailed shading, like in Vagabond, Berserk, and Attack on Titan, while more lighthearted manga like Nichijou, Ore Monogatari, and Surgeon Keroro have more simple shading. You'll have to find out the right mix of shading that would fit the tone and aesthetic for your story. Everyone starts somewhere, and you probably started your art journey drawing this, stickman figures. But as an aspiring mangaka, you probably want to level up to actually start drawing more like this. As you can see, the stickman is composed of a circle and sticks. Two-dimensional shapes that are meant to represent a person, although it doesn't really look like a real person. And while this drawing of All Might is technically a 2D drawing, how he's drawn is completely different. He's not flat like the stickman. He's composed of 3D forms and has shading, making him look more like a real person. Real people are not made out of simple shapes. We're made out of 3D forms. What do I mean by shapes and forms? Shapes are circles, squares, triangles. Meanwhile, forms are spheres, cubes, and pyramids. Basically, forms exist in a 3D space, while shapes are 2D and flat. When light hits an object, parts that get directly hit by it are brighter, while parts where the light doesn't hit are darker. It's important to understand where the light is coming from so you know where it doesn't reach. These are your shadows. We've seen how beginners struggle so much with shading, and one of the most common mistake is not identifying your light source. What happens? Your artworks look flat, and your pages might look like they lack depth and dimension. Let's do a quick activity. Look at these panels. See if you can determine where the light is coming from. Ready for the answers? In this one, the light is coming from the right, and the way that this character is dramatically shaded gives him a menacing look. In this one, the light is coming from the back. This is called rim lighting. Lastly, this one is coming from the lower left of the panel. Were you able to get a 3 out of 3? Let us know in the comments below. Depending on the location of your light source, you can create different vibes for your scenes. Want to make your character look evil? Set the light source from the bottom. How about happy? The light can be directed right at your character to really brighten up their expression. Study how a different light source can affect the whole mood of your scene, and use that to evoke the right emotions from your readers. Mangakas have developed different kinds of shading techniques throughout the years. Inking techniques is one of them. It's a traditional method where a mangaka uses a dip pen with ink to shade their pages. Digitally, it's achieved by one of the ink pens in the drawing software of your choice, like Clip Studio Paint, Paint Tool Sai, Krita, or even Photoshop. One of the basic, most commonly used inking techniques is called beta, or solid blackening. This is when you fill certain areas with black when you want to depict shadows. It shows high contrast and gives a very interesting effect if done right. Osamu Tezuka, the godfather of manga, used this style of shading for Astro Boy. Look at how Tezuka sensei shaded Astro Boy's hair and this robot to give it a metallic effect. Another technique is hatching and cross-hatching. This is when you use lines to create a gradient. Takehiko Inoue used this technique for his manga Slam Dunk and Vagabond. The basic principle in hatching is that the closer the lines are, the darker the shading. There's also cross-hatching where you cross the lines you make to add more depth to your manga. Then, there's stippling. This is when you use small dots to give the illusion of a gradient. Like hatching, it follows the principle where the closer each dot is, the darker the gradient. Although time-consuming, it can give interesting textures to your manga. If you want to learn more, we discussed these inking techniques in depth in one of our previous videos. We'll put the link in the description. You know how we said that manga is purely black and white? But then, I'm sure you've seen manga with gray tones, right? Manga doesn't use the color gray because it affects the printing quality. What appears to be gray is actually just really small dots. That's thanks to Screentones. Screentones are preset textures that are composed of dots. They have different arrangements and sizes to give off different gradients and textures. They can also come in designs such as hearts and sparkles to increase the aesthetic appeal of your page. Adding Screentones is a great way to give your manga interesting textures, patterns, and even shading. Look at this page of One Punch Man, for example. If you zoom in really close, you can see Screentones applied on the giant's cheeks and Saitama's gloves and boots. Also, check out this page of Kaicho wa Meido-sama. There's Screentones on the character's skin, clothes, as well as the backgrounds. There are two main ways to apply your Screentones. You can do it traditionally or digitally. The traditional way of applying Screentones is buying the actual Screentones. They're like stickers that's applied on your page, and then you carve or scrape it out using a hobby knife. The digital way can be a bit more convenient. You can find Screentones all over the internet and you can mask them onto your page. A lot of pro mangakas, including our mentors Naoya Zawa and Rena Saya, use a mix of both traditional and digital methods when shading and applying Screentones. One pro tip we've learned from them is that you can actually layer Screentones to achieve unique effects. Yazawa sensei personally creates her own customized gradients by layering Screentones. We've learned all these different shading techniques, but did you know that the genre of your manga can affect how you shade your manga? Shoujo, which is a genre targeted for young girls, usually uses a lot of Screentones.
In the name of the moon, I'll punish you!
Take this page from Vampire Knight as an example. The mangaka, Matsuri Hino, used Screentones on the hair, the skin, the backgrounds, and it even takes over the dialogue bubbles. In contrast, the use of Screentones in shonen is a bit more subtle. Here's a page from Jujutsu Kaisen. The mangaka Gege Akutami used Screentones for the sound effects, speed lines, and parts of the clothes, but he mainly used hatching and beta for shading. You can check out some of your favorite manga and observe what kind of shading techniques were predominantly used. Try to recreate them yourself to see how it sits with you. Your story's genre may influence the techniques you use, but ultimately, we encourage you to experiment. See what shading style works for you and develop your own aesthetic. If you want to learn how to make your own manga through a structured step-by-step process so you can stop wasting time and finally share your unique stories and ideas to the world, then we invite you to sign up to the waitlist of our online one-shot manga drawing program. You'll get to work with pro-Japanese mangakas through weekly live Zoom sessions, and you'll be with fellow aspiring mangakas who are in this journey with you together. The link to sign up for our waitlist is in the description. In the meantime, check out our free training on the 6 steps to create your very first manga.